Welcome to part 2 of our 2019 photo desert extravaganza, first of the year. My thoughts on this camera. If you watched our last video, it was more of a vlog, kind of explaining what the heck we're doing here in Moab. James has a photo project. If you haven't seen that video, I would highly encourage you to go watch that before or after, whenever you feel like it. But we are shooting this video with the Sony, dang it, I keep wanting to call it an RX one. It's a Sony A7 Mark III. I do technology. It's a Sony A7 Mark III, and I've been playing around with it all day. This has really just been my first day with it. I've only really had it for 24 hours where I've actually been playing around with it, and I have some initial thoughts, so I want to share that throughout this video. Watch as James falls to his death.
I just have to channel my inner mountain goat.
There you go.
The tough part with this particular situation is that the snow kind of masks where the rocks break and stuff, so you have to like really watch your step.
Oh my gosh.
Normally you can see like where there's cracks in the rocks and things aren't connected.
This is really my first time playing around with a full frame camera body, and I can't put my finger on it, but it looks different, which is hilarious because everything James has always described full frame versus, what is it, aps-c, the difference between those two cameras, he always says that, like, you just have to feel it. And I don't know how to explain it, but it just looks really good. Dude, the freaking image on this is like, beautiful. Oh my gosh.
It has a different character.
It has a different character to it, and I feel like maybe the screen on this camera is better, and that's why. I haven't actually looked at the raw footage.
It's not the screen.
It's not the screen. It's the sensor. But I've been really enjoying just looking at the image as I'm recording. That's been a huge plus. What has been a huge negative? What is this?
It's our car.
Cooper's in there waiting for us. What's been a huge negative, and I think it might be user error because, like I said, I've only had it for a day or so, is the focusing is like really disappointing. I haven't had the time, and honestly I don't know if I will because this is a rental. There's really no point in just switching that setting, but that's been my biggest complaint of this camera.
Which might not be a complaint at all because you might just be able to flip the switch and make it better.
Thanks, Sony. Before sharing any more of my thoughts, I wanted to take a second to look at the footage on my actual computer to get the full scope of what this camera had to offer. Because this isn't a camera comparison video, I didn't really get any side-by-side shots. Also because James was using our other camera for shooting his photos. But at the end of the day, right before we drove back to Salt Lake City, I did a little bit of a side-by-side nighttime shot thing, and the A7 has a darker, richer kind of look. I'm sure it's because full frame, blah, 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 all of these reasons that I'm gonna say it's a full frame camera. But honestly, I just didn't know. I don't shoot very much. I'm usually in front of the camera. James is the one behind the camera, and he's the one telling me,
Christina, the camera just has a different character to it. A certain je ne sais quoi.
I could really tell the difference using this A7 when I was in a really harsh lighting situation. The majority of the day was really the worst time of the day to shoot. It was 3 o'clock, the sun was very overhead. It wasn't an overcast day, so we had really harsh shadows, or we were backlit. But in this shot in specific, James was very backlit and the image still looked very crispy. And that is the moment where I realized, wow, this is a very good camera. I guess the last question that I need to ask myself is, will I buy this camera? And honestly, I don't think that we will purchase this camera anytime soon. This Sony a6500 has been treating us quite nicely. We're getting the a6400 pretty soon. And honestly, I'm waiting for the perfect Sony camera, if that exists, to come out. So the perfect full frame in my mind will be the Sony a7S Mark III one day when it comes out, and I'm hoping and praying that it has a fully articulating screen. Until then, I will prepare my bank account to make that purchase. I'm very satisfied with the camera that I have right now, which is very funny because usually when you get your hands on a newer camera, you want it. But it's all about being disciplined, guys. Be disciplined, know what you want, save for it, don't use a credit card, don't go into debt, all of the things that we preach about. But guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you're new around here, feel free to subscribe. And if you aren't, new around here, but you haven't been commenting because I know you guys exist. I saw you enter that giveaway. I know you guys live everywhere. Comment below, let me know where you're from, say hi, be friendly. I want to be your friend. Have a fantastic day, night, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Bye.